This is Midoriya from the first chapter of the manga. He scares me. Hey guys, how are you? I hope you are well. Today I bring you 66 facts that you probably didn't know about My Hero Academia. And for those who don't know me yet, I'm Demonio, the interdimensional demon that most talks about My Hero Academia on YouTube, and you are on my channel. At the beginning of the My Hero Academia manga, a panel is shown with several Japanese and American heroes. Among them we can see Superman, Spider-Man, Ultraman, among others, showing that these heroes also exist in this world. In the first chapter of the My Hero Academia manga, Midoriya was an adult fascinated by heroes, and who sold weapons to them, and even without having any power he went out as a vigilante trying to defeat villains. But the author was not enjoying this idea, and left this chapter like a one-shot of My Hero Academia. Although Mezushiji's face has not yet been fully revealed in the anime, in the manga his mouth has already been shown, being quite wide and with irregular teeth. The author considers Shuji and Jiraiya to be the physically strongest characters among first-year students, without using his powers, just with their base strength. Toru Hagakure, better known as the Invisible Girl, was supposed to be a boy in the original idea, but the author decided to change it, because he thought a girl with an invisible body was a funnier concept. Momo was originally a little thinner, and her hero uniform was quite different from the version we see in the manga and anime, lacking her characteristic cleavage. In some of the first drafts of All Might he was much older and more experienced, and he would participate much less in the story, being just a veteran hero who would encourage the main character to become a hero, even if he did not have a quirk. In the anime they changed the place of All Might's scar. In the manga it is on her chest. In the anime it is a little lower, on her abdomen. It was Present Mike that gave Aizawa his Eraserhead hero name back when they were students. The Present Mike was supposed to be just an old man who would do advertisements, but the author thought he would be too boring, so he opted for a more cool and high-spirited character. The hero Mirio was inspired by the comic and cartoon character Tintin. The heroine Midnight was originally planned to be the homeroom teacher for Class 1A. But she was replaced by Aizawa, as the idea was for the teacher to be a bit more rude to the students. All Might loves to watch movies, and while it's unclear what kind of movies he prefers, it's assumed he likes superhero movies and action movies in general. The hands that the Shigaraki uses on his body were taken from the first people he killed, who were his family, with emphasis on the hand that is on his face, which is his father's, and the one that is on his head that belongs to her Aunt Nana Shimura, who is the master of All Might and former user of One for All. Shigaraki was the character with the most powers in the entire work, as he had all the powers of All for One, in addition to his own quirk. All for One is the most powerful character currently, as Shigaraki lost several quirks he had gained from All for One. In battle, Dabi always attacks with his left hand. Dabi can no longer cry because his tear glands are burned out. Toga is attracted to both sexes, being bisexual, which is why she is in love with both Midoriya and Uraraka. The villain Spinner learned to drive playing Grand Theft Auto, better known as GTA. Magna is the second confirmed transgender character in the series, the first is Tiger, and curiously the two have already faced each other. The winged Nomu is a boy named Tsubasa, who is one of Bakugo's childhood friends, seen in one of Miroya's childhood flashbacks. Redestro is descended from one of the most infamous villains in the world of My Hero Academia, as he is Destro's grandson. In Twice's first sketch, we can see that his uniform is already quite similar to the final version we see in the manga and anime, only curiously he had an extra pair of eyes on his mask. Yosetsu Awaze is in love with Momo, but she has no idea about it and he doesn't tell her or anyone else. Black's hero name is inspired by a substance that absorbs over 99.9% of light, making it one of the darkest substances in the world. Midnight was the reason they created rules to limit the amount of skin that can be exposed for hero costumes, as their first costume was a bit controversial. Aspiring heroes Ibara Shiozaki and Nirenjiki Shoto were originally planned to be in Room 1A. The final version of Momo's costume would have been even shorter and more revealing if not for restrictions on the amount of skin allowed to be shown on a hero costume. According to Mirio, he chose the name of Hero Lemillion because he has the goal of being able to help at least 1 million people. Without using quirks, Mirio is the physically strongest student in the entire UA school according to the author. The character Mei Hatsum was originally planned to be a male, but in the final version they decided to change it to a girl. The hero Best Jeanist was seriously injured and lost one of his lungs in the fight against All for One. Endeavor likes to keep his fiery quirk active around his face at all times. This serves to intimidate his opponents and show off the immense power and extreme control he has of his quirk. Endeavor was originally planned to be one of the instructors at the UA school, but the author thought it would be too unbalanced to have hero number 1 and number 2 in the same school. Endeavor's hero name is literally related to the English word of the same name, which in his case refers to the tremendous effort and commitment he had throughout the series, as he tried to reach first place his whole life. The character Yoshindo is an internet troll, and that's why he betrays people, to see his reactions. Yoshindo and her classmate Tatami Nakagame are in a romantic relationship. Hawks is inspired by the character Takahiro, from Omagadoki Zoo, which is another work by the same author. The character in question also has wings. The Hawks have the record for the youngest professional hero ever, and also the fastest professional hero to reach the top 10 in the rankings. Although Hawks have some characteristics and are closely associated with birds because of their wings, ironically their favorite food is fried frankfurters. The meaning of the hero's name Kamui Wood is God of the Forest or God of Wood, which makes perfect sense with his power to control wood in the form of branches. Yawara is a trans man, born female, but he had surgery in Thailand a long time ago, changing his general appearance to that of a man. Star and Stripes' hero name was based on a nickname for the US flag, which is why his costume looks like the US flag. All Might Master Nana Shimura was the only female who used One for All, and was also the only known user who had children. The Ectoplasm hero lost his leg fighting a villain, but he still remained a hero. All he had to do was put on a prosthetic leg. Stain the hero hunter had his initial look a little different from the final version. He used more weapons and had a tube that went to his mouth, with a mechanism that helped him drink the blood of the heroes. The idea of the tube equipment that Stain had was reused by Himiko Toga, which uses similar equipment to absorb blood faster. The Bubble Girl and the Centipede were designs made by fans for a contest. Whoever won that contest could make their own characters for the series, and those were the Bubble Girl and the Centipede. Koji Koda, he is the only character in Class 1A who has a pet. The animal in question is a rabbit that lives with him in his accommodation. Guys, don't forget to subscribe to the channel to follow the next content. The names of all the characters are related to their individualities or to some of their characteristics, such as Bakugo's name for example, which means bomb or explosion. All Might moves are named after US cities, such as Texas Smash, Detroit Smash, California Smash, among others, all with Smash at the end. All Might in his muscular form is extremely tall, reaching an incredible 2.20 meters in height. The name Nomu means no brain, but ironically the brains of all of them are visible. Mineta managed to pass the robot's exam by using his sticky balls to lock their gears, and since no rule said you had to destroy the robots, he gained points just by immobilizing them. Tokoyami eats from the corners of his mouth because of his beak, and because of this he prefers chopsticks to cutlery. The maximum weight Mizo Shoji can lift is 540 kilos, which is impressive. He could lift a car if he wanted to. Mina Shido, although it looks like it refers to spiders in my opinion, she is actually inspired by the aliens from the Alien franchise, and that's why she has acid powers. Originally Achiko Uraraka would have powers to become giant, and his hero name would be Mount Lady, but the author decided to discard the idea, since Achiko is one of the main characters and this could become very problematic for the script, so the hero name and powers were harnessed in the character Yutakiyama. The personality and fighting style of the hero Kamui Woods were inspired by Spider-Man. Even though she doesn't have an indivisibility of intelligence, Momo is the smartest character in her class. The hero Present Mike was inspired by a Japanese DJ with the same name as is Hisashi Yamada. Shoto Todoroki was inspired by Avatar Zuko, his scar, his fire powers, his relationship with his father and his story arc in general. Everything was inspired by Zuko. The surname Todoroki, as incredible as it sounds, is a fairly common surname in Japan. It can be said that Bakugo is the most popular character in the work for the Japanese, as he appears in first place in the vast majority of popularity polls ever made in Japan. Shigaraki's original look was much scarier than the final version we see in the anime, as originally his eyes and mouth had a black void. Don't forget to watch the other videos in this playlist. Until next time my people, demonic hugs.